probably by this evening, in fact, within half an hour, some details would be sent to you by emails. So please,
We have to give the entrance test.
yes,
Okay.
that is the update by this time. So in case there are any more updates, you would be informed, ma'am.
Gupta sir, I really appreciate your efforts. You really have done a great job. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Means a lot coming from you. Thank you. And I'm sorry for not being able to solve all your queries. Just like you, I'm not aware of the examination schedule. It's only the program that I'm handling. But definitely, whatever doubts you're having, I'm taking them down and putting it forward to the admin team. And at present, the update is that they are working on this updates, on these links, exam links, and perhaps within the next 15-20 minutes you should receive an email with your login credentials and other details, and tomorrow and day after tomorrow there are going to be some mock tests on there is going to be some mock test on PhD entrance test, and 16th the final test would be held. So please wait for the emails. I hope you would receive them within half an hour.
यांची आजवरची अनेक नाटकं गाजली. नुकतंच त्यांनी 12,500 नाट्य
तर नमस्कार मित्रांनो, स्टार प्रवाहावरील लोकप्रिय मालिका आई कुठे काय करते या मालिका आणि त्या अगोदर मला तुम्हाला ना हे बुक्स लागते. तर तुम्हाला खूप जणांचे प्रश्न होते की तुम्ही ना इथे पहिला बुक्स कसे असतात स्कूलमध्ये. आय आय काय अरे आय आय केदार शिंदे या जगात सोल्युशन आहे. त्याच्यावर लक्ष द्या. यांचं सगळं बायकांच्या अँगलमध्ये. आर यू स्टील वेटिंग फॉर सिलेक्ट.
नमस्कार, जुईज किचन मध्ये तुमचं स्वागत आहे. आज मी तुम्हाला जी रेसिपी दाखवणार आहे ती एक पारंपरिक रेसिपी आहे, तसेच ती पौष्टिक देखील आहे. बेसिकली ती एक प्रकारची उसळ आहे. त्या उसळीला खोबरं, कोथिंबीर आणि मिरचीचं वाटण.
लाफ और मैं ड्यूटी पे हूँ, मुझे पता नहीं लोग मेरे बारे में क्या सोचते हैं.
कशी बनवायची त्या
Okay. The participants are speaker is on the way. He was busy with some other meeting scheduled, so he'll be joining within the next 10 minutes.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Hello. Gupta is there?
Hello. Good
Yeah,
evening, sir.
Gupta ji.
Yes, sir.
Please.
Okay. So, on behalf of JSPM University Pune, I again welcome Professor Dr. D.G. Regulwar, sir, who is the professor and head of Civil Engineering Department at Government College of Engineering, Aurangabad. And today, sir, if I'm not wrong, today, sir, would be speaking on thesis writing and reporting. And again, we welcome all the participants, all the PhD aspirants. And over to you, sir.
Okay. Screen is visible?
Yes, sir, it is.
Visible, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right. And I'm audible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So at the outset, I'm extremely sorry. I had forgotten that I have to give the lecture. I mean, reminder, if it would have been given, it would have been better. At 6 o'clock only, I would have joined. It's fine. Yes. If in between my voice or any problem is there, please let me know. Okay. Gupta ji, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Audible and the screen is also visible.
Okay, fine. So basically today's lecture, it contributes to the writing part. So writing, we can have like a thesis writing or even the manuscript writing, I mean paper writing, and few things about ethics also we will cover. So one of the regulation just I got, what is a thesis for PhD? It must form a distinctive contribution to the knowledge of the subject and afford the evidence of background. I think the mic is unmuted. Okay. A thesis for the PhD must form a distinctive contribution to the knowledge of the subject and afford the evidence of originality shown by the discovery of new facts and or the evidence of independent critical power. So somewhere if your writing it falls, then definitely it will form a PhD thesis. So one thing is a contribution to the knowledge of the subject, originality, that is novelty, and the discovery of new facts. Discovery of new facts. These things it should include in your work. Then only it can be a PhD. Otherwise, I mean, PhD thesis, like what we see whenever we assess, mostly it is a very small contribution with lot of pages, papers. I mean, it is written which is not their original, like literature review. Literature review is not your own. And it is actually the work done by someone else. So it is very nicely written, and maybe 100 papers, 150 papers, 200 papers, we go on writing, which is not ours. And whatever ours is, that is not clear. That contribution is rare or very small contribution is there. It may not be original. So many things are there. So whether it forms a PhD thesis or not, only supervisor can justify it, and then examiner can validate it. Okay, so this is a beginning of, I mean, writing for PhD. So a few good, I mean, slides I got. That means how many times you are writing thesis? Only once. So why not to write a good thesis? Give sufficient time to write the thesis. Because as far as I know, I mean, my students, they take at least 6 to 8 months for writing the thesis. And that much time we should invest. Don't write thesis very in rush, because it will remain with you lifelong. And you should be very proud of showing your thesis to the colleagues and I mean the peers. That means those who are working in your own area. So that much nicely written with no errors, grammatical errors. I mean simple sentences, writing in simple sense. I mean the meaning of whatever you have written, that a very layman should understand it. Not much more complicated. A layman should understand. That is what the way of writing the thesis. Okay. So this was a good news. The bad news is writing a thesis is hard, painful. Okay. I mean, very nicely written, like you have already done the fun part. That means the research, because writing is very difficult. It's painful because when you start writing, maybe in a day, a page you may write or you may not. That is what you have to avoid, the copy paste kind of thing. Okay, so thesis writing is not a marketable skill. Whatever work done, you have to present it on paper. Okay, so it's very painful. Those who write the thesis, only they will know what is the pain behind writing a thesis. Okay, so much of maybe a frustration because of not framing the statements correctly, or maybe the statements is framed, but we are not, I mean, the meaning is not coming out what exactly we want it. So this thing happens every day. So that is why a lot of effort is required to write a good thesis. Okay, so some people never manage to write one, that is 99% perspiration and 1% inspiration. Okay, and if the thesis is good, that is what I mean, it will be read by your supervisor and the committee also. Otherwise, the supervisor will continuously send it back to the candidate that improve it, make the corrections, lot of errors and so many. Okay, so I mean, why write a thesis? It is a requirement. And at the end, in the process, how to research and how to write. These two things, I mean, the experience of writing and experience of research, that continuously we are learning from this write a thesis. Okay, so how to write, basically it begins, the journey begins from the conference, journal papers. Okay, that is what the initial phase, right? And why to write a thesis? Of course, it is a requirement to get a doctoral degree, and it will introduce your research to the wider audience. So this is what the basically requirement. This is a fun part, but this is what a requirement is. Okay, the thesis committee. Why write a thesis? It will make you famous and it will radically change the science. So this is what a requirement, and this is a fun part of it. Okay, so we should concentrate to the requirement, right? It will advance our knowledge just a little. Main benefits is on teaching you to research. And it will be read by others, your thesis committee and your supervisor. Okay. And when do I start writing the thesis? So if I'm motivated, when do I actually start writing my thesis? So 6 months before the end. That means at least 6 months are required. More than 6 months also it is quite possible. Okay. So basically the day you start your PhD, that is also a beginning. So it all depends upon how your habits are. In the very first slide, if you see, what are the habits, skills, attitude, they're required by a research scholar. That is what the very first statement I made in my slide. Okay. So writing is, if it is a continuous writing, it's very good and it will take less time at the end. If you start writing at the end, it will take more time. Okay. So I mean, start writing right from the beginning, and then only at the end you have to summarize it and you have to take in a sequence. Okay. So this is how the beginning of writing a thesis. Okay. And I mean, it is never too late to start. Even if right from beginning we are not starting, even in between you can start it. But mostly you all are, I mean, attending, you are all aspirant of admission. So therefore, for you, it is very simple because the journey, it is yet to be started. So better to start writing from the beginning, not thesis, but whatever work is going on, prepare the report, whatever the work you carry out continuously. So what a thesis isn't. What I did in the lab over the last 3 years, I first read the background, I then implement, I ran some experiments and all. Thesis is a logic. It is a logical reconstruction. Okay. Then what a thesis isn't a brain dump of everything you have done. So you get to leave out of dead ends, but you have to fill in any obvious gaps. A thesis is a logical reconstruction with a single coherent message, right? So what a thesis isn't, that means available to buy. So even if I mean, some websites or some shops are there who give you ready thesis. Okay, so don't be behind such, I mean, websites or even the, I mean, the shops or the service providers. Those who continuously call you whether you want a assistance in PhD. Okay, so it's all like a fooling someone, and it's not a ethical way to approach and write it. Okay, so that is not a thesis. Okay, so demonstration of an understanding of the state of the art, a critical appreciation of existing work, a novel contribution evaluated systematically. That is what a thesis is. Okay, so a good way to get a feel of the beast is read some thesis, the old thesis, your senior's thesis. Okay, you have to read it. Okay, so opens a new idea what thesis is when you read, provides unifying framework, resolves long-standing question, thoroughly explores area, contradicts existing knowledge, experimentally validates theory, produces ambitious system, provides empirical data, derives superior algorithms, develops new methodology, develops new tool, and produces negative result. So these all basically the what PhD thesis exactly. Okay, so a thesis structure, when you see any thesis, when you see it begins with maybe like the index or contents or intent, list of abbreviations, list of figures, list of graphs, list of tables, and then abstract. Then your chapters like introduction, literature review or literature survey. This can be clubbed with even introduction as well. Then system development or model development or methodology. So this is not like a rigid, depending upon which branch is, you can use your own terminology. Then application, then results and discussion or performance analysis, and conclusion. Thereafter, references, then appendices, then acknowledgement. So this is how a thesis structure. Okay, it is a thesis structure, right? So the introduction basically in 5 to 10 pages, like introduction, what is the necessity, what are the objectives, what is the theme of thesis, and the organization of different chapters. This should include in introduction and around 5 to 10 pages. This is only guidelines. It may be 15 pages as well. Okay. The objective of the study, basically, whatever your objective of work is, like one of the objective can be written like objective of the study is to develop optimal operation policies in a multiple crop, multiple criterion on a number of connected reservoirs, multiple reservoirs in a river subbasin. So like this, whatever your work objective is, you have to write it. Similarly, the objectives can be subdivided into sub-objectives and write down all sub-objectives. So initially, like a statement, a problem statement kind of. Then that objectives, to achieve these objectives, what sub-objectives are required? Maybe like here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 different sub-objectives are written for this objective. Okay, so to achieve this, maybe initially a review of literature is required, a critical analysis is required, and so. Then identification of problem is an important aspect. Then third, maybe like a development of some multiple criteria, multiple, reservoir operation, optimization model, and so on. Then determination of parameters for some algorithm which we are using. Then establishing the, now fuzzy logic is involved. So here the fuzzy nature of objectives and all, the next one. And lastly, the development of optimal operating policies. That means this. Okay. So like this, you should be able to write the objectives and sub-objectives. And it is very much important because whether the PhD thesis it is completed or not, always it is decided based upon what are your objectives and sub-objectives. If all our objective and sub-objectives are tackled, it is solved, then your PhD thesis is over. Okay. The next is literature survey. That literature survey or literature review, it is maybe ranging from 15 to 50 pages. That depends upon which branches. Maybe the computer related branches may require less pages and conventional branches may require more pages depending upon the traces of your problem, number of papers. Okay. So related information available in standard books, journals, transactions, internet websites, etc. Till date. More emphasis on last 5 years minimum. So that should be included, and the literature review maybe like 50 pages. How to write the literature survey? There are n number of guidelines. So we should follow any one journal's guideline to write the literature survey. So in one case we write surname. If there are two authors, these are the two authors. This is one and this is other. So only the surname is taken. Like if my name is like DG Regular, then suppose I have published in maybe 2008, one of the paper I have published. And if someone researcher is using my paper, then how he will write? He will write only my surname, like Regular in bracket 2008. Okay. So in a similar way, it is written like Wadlow and Sharif. The two authors are there. Therefore, it is and. This Kamal Al Mohsin and Rakesh Khosa. So this is 2002A. Means in a same year, they have the two different papers published. So one is A and other is B. Okay. If more than two authors, then what is to be written? Suppose with me, maybe the another example is there, some ABC, and first author, second author, third author is maybe PQR. Then how to write? It will be Regular et al. et.al. comma 2008. So this is the way of writing the citation, the reference. And then in this paper, whatever things are there, I have to summarize it. Okay. And always this I should write in third person, present continuous. That is the best way to present the work. Okay. So this is how each and every paper we should be able to write it. What is to be written in this? The literature. Say this is one paper. What exactly I should write? Only the brief that what exactly that authors they have worked, and to work that what methodology they have adopted, and maybe there some very concrete conclusion. Okay. Concrete conclusion. So these things it should be included. So don't write or don't copy the abstract, don't copy the conclusion. Okay, so you read it first and then write in your own language. Otherwise, it will caught in the similarity. It will be caught in the similarity. That means the plagiarism part of it. So don't give any access to this plagiarism. So the best way is to write ourselves. The best way is to write ourselves, right? So this is how the writing literature review. Then in system development, or model development, there are again maybe like 50 pages. There are 50 pages. This is not even maximum or minimum, but 50 or even more than that, you can write it, because this is a very important part is model development is a important part, right? So what it includes, the analytical part, computational part, experimental part, statistical, mathematical, and so on. So out of above methods, at least one or two methods it is to be used for model development, because all may not be required or necessary for your work, but you may you may work with one or two methods. Some mathematical treatment or related information is required to be embodied. Okay. So like a model development, one only sample example for the same objective I have taken. Okay. So these are the objective functions and this is the mathematical equations, and these are all the the assumptions and all required for this mathematical equation. So this is a part of model development. Some constraints are there. What are these all constraints related to the objective function and my objectives? Okay. So once this model development is over, thereafter the performance analysis. That means maybe writing code or using some software or experimentation and all. So analysis of system developed either by at least two methods, depending upon depth of standard. These methods normally used are analytical, computational, statistical, experimental, or mathematical. Results at various stages may be compared with various inputs. Output at various stages with same waveforms or signals or related information parameter, and comparison of above results by one or two methods. Then you have to write the justification or maybe the error differences with theory or earlier published results. This is an important aspect in writing a thesis. Okay, so the justification for differences. If exact answers are not coming, validation is not proper, then why these differences? Okay, with theory or with earlier published results. Okay, then conclusions may be like 1 to 3 pages, which includes conclusions, future scope, applications. Okay, and the conclusions need not to be like result, need not to be copied and written as conclusions. You should write a very generalized conclusions based upon the work which you have carried out. And what things it was not possible for you to work, maybe because of some limitations or other things. So that you should write in future scope. And whatever your thesis is, what are the applications of that thesis, your research? Is there any field applications? Or you have contributed to a fundamental theory? What exactly the applications are there? That means the contributions from the thesis. So this you should, include it. Okay. So this is how the conclusions are. Then the references. Okay. So writing references in a two different way. One is as it appears in the text, irrespective of the year. And second is, the with your alphabetical. Second is with alphabetical. Now, if you see here, A is first, then B, and then W, and so on. Okay, or with as it appear in the text. So when it is as it appear in the text, it begins with 1, 2, 3, 4. And when it is with alphabetically, then it is alphabetically, and always the reference to be written as like one is the author, this one, then year, then title, this is the title, then journal, name of the journal, this one, then this is volume and this is number. So journal, volume, then number, then page particulars. That was 697 to 713. That is the page numbers or page particulars. Okay. So this is a way of writing the references. Okay. Then if appendices are there, you mentioned it, related data, specifications, referred charts, details, computer code, program, etc. These all we should include in appendix. Okay. Then acknowledgement, that is the expression of gratitude and thankfulness for helping in completion of the said task with name, and it should be signed by the candidate. That is what the acknowledgement. Then, of course, very minute guidelines are there. So this at this stage, this is not required. What is the margin, top margin, bottom margin, and all. So this I'm not, I mean, showing you at present. This is required at the end. Okay. So maybe like sample how it looks, and this is for a particular institute. Like we have this kind of formats. Okay. Maybe your university may have their own format. You have to use it, declaration and all. Okay. These common mistakes I'm not uh, imposing. I mean, I'm not explaining today. Uh, then we can shift to the, I mean, the maybe the manuscript, what is a good manuscript, and then ethics. Okay. So, I mean, the ethics and in research and even in publishing. Ethics in research and publishing. So basically, I mean, why do the scientists publish? What is a good manuscript? How to write a good manuscript? Revision, responses, and ethical issues. Okay. So reason of the explosion in quantity, publication is the most important measure for researchers. As you know, that unless and until we have the publication, we cannot submit the PhD thesis. Then what we do? We try to get the publications. And as far as whatever the rules and regulations are there, we always try to, follow the rules and regulation. Okay. So if the rule is like only conference paper is required, then we go for conference paper. In the rule, if it is mentioned that, journal paper is required, journal which is included in the UGC care list. So we all search UGC care list, and which is the simplest journal and in less time it can publish. So we go for its publication. It is a human tendency. Okay. And if it is written that no, only the SCI journals are required, Scoopers are required, then we go for SCI and Scoopers. Otherwise, we never go. We don't go for SCI and Scoopers. The reason is who is the controlling? Basically, the supervisor is the controlling. The supervisor should demand, or he should feel that the publication should be a good publication, authentic publication. So Scoopers and SCI or SCI expanded, they are the good publishers. And paper published in that, it is widely accepted, internationally accepted. Otherwise, if you publish in a predatory journals or paid journals, or maybe like a simple kind of thing, maybe the International Journal of something and all. So, okay, if it is listed in the UGC care list, definitely you can get PhD degree. But what about your credentials? That credentials will, it will be very difficult. Credentials will be very difficult, right? So when you look for a good journal, like SCI journal, So the acceptance rate is very low. Acceptance rate, it is very, very low. So, for example, it is given from US, UK papers, acceptance rate is little bit high. Okay. That means maybe like 50 to 60%. And from Asia, around 30%. So this is a difference. Then if number of submissions are more and if quality is not there. Hello? WhatsApp. If quality is not there, then there is always a stress for editors and reviewers. So like maybe the faculties, most of the faculties are reviewers, like I'm reviewer for at least 20 journals. So when we review, if quality is not there, unnecessary, a lot of time we have to waste it in reading, understanding, and so on. Even the writing is not good. There are a lot of grammatical errors. Even sentence, I mean, framing the sentences, what exactly the author want to express. These are all difficulties in case of the low quality journals. Okay. And this is a problematic to the editors and reviewers. Okay. So these are all issues with the submissions. I mean, a good journal submissions. And this is the main reason why the good journal it takes a lot of time. Because if you submit to SCI journal, how much time it takes? Maybe I mean, first review to come first review, it will be like 4 to 6 months. Then again, if you resubmit it, maybe again it may require another 6 months or so. So minimum minimum 1 year, that may be the time frame. Okay, so why this time frame is? It is only because of this kind of issues, this kind of problems. Okay, so okay, these are all I mean the problem which appears when we read the I mean papers. Only if you just go through this, you can understand what type of mistakes we do when we submit the paper. One is out of scope of the journal. If you submit it, definitely it will be rejected. Failure to format the paper according to the guideline for authors. Inappropriate suggested reviewers. Inadequate response to reviewers. English is not good. Resubmission of rejected manuscripts without revision. So these are all like a common things which we should understand when we write the paper. Then basically what we should do, we should always submit to the right journal. One journal only, because few researchers, they have a habit of submitting paper to multiple journals. So maybe like if they submit it to 2 journals, maybe one, it is there in mind that one of the journal may be positive. What are the journal requirements we should see? Structure we should see, English, and the more important is ethical standards. Okay, so and I mean, what is your reason for publishing? Of course, for us, presently those who are attending, everyone's reason is to get a degree. Okay. So very rarely the funding and I mean promotion and all, but basically everyone is behind this getting degree. Then why should scientists publish? That means you want to share your knowledge with the science community, and something that advances, not repeat knowledge and understanding in a certain field. Okay, so library resources, they are important for all steps in research. So finding problem, topic, literature, data, analyze research report, and actually, I mean, a survey was conducted, like the librarians and scientists were asked to name the top scientific and medical search resources that they use or are aware of. And what is the difference? The scientists, when they are asked, they will say, I mean, their answer, most of the things are Google, Yahoo, and other things. Whereas the librarians know that this information is there in Science Direct, Web of Science, and Medline. So actually these are librarians. So that is what in the previous lecture also I was telling about the library science, the scientometric tools, the search index, citations, I10 index, then impact factor. Okay, these are all, it comes in the library science. Okay, so they know better that what exactly, how to search the exact requirement. Okay, this already I have given you initially. Then the main part I will tell you, the good manuscript, that is the originality is very much important. Then the type of manuscript is the main requirement. That is whether it is a original article. Mostly we should go for original article. The rapid communication, short communication is also there in journals. Review papers. Basically, review papers is on invitation. That means a very senior person, he writes the review paper. It is only because of he's working for more than maybe like 20, 30 years. And he is able to write, he is able to review a particular topic, and then he can write a review paper. But this understanding is not there. So even a very fresh candidate, he writes a review paper. If you ask someone that what you are writing, no, I'm writing a review paper. And he's a beginner. Okay. So you should evaluate or self-evaluate the work. Is it sufficient for a full article, or are your results so thrilling that they need to be shown as soon as possible? So that is what a self-evaluation, that is important. Then who is your audience, that you have to think of initially, and then you choose the journal. Okay, so whether your audience is able to understand the language, that is also you have to decide well in advance. That is, I mean, how I should write. Okay, so audience is very much important. Like most of the time, maybe the journal rejects a paper that our audience may not be interested in two mathematical papers. So this also a comment, it comes when a paper is rejected, because their audience may not be, I mean, the too mathematical. Just a minute. Okay, so choose the right journal. That is what an important task, and submit once only. Okay, and you have to read the guideline for authors again and again. Don't make any mistakes in this. You have to follow the general structure of full article of a journal, and which is similar to the previous one, like title, author, abstract, keyword, main text, acknowledgement, references, and so on. Okay. So when we write, we should write in following order. Like initially the figures and tables, then methods, results, and discussion. Then first of all, write conclusion, and then you write this introduction. After introduction, then abstract, and at the end, this title is. Exactly in a reverse way, most of the researchers, they write it. They begin with title, then abstract, then introduction, and then methods, results, discussion, conclusion, and in between figures and tables. But the best way of writing is this sequence. First of all, figures and tables, then methods, results, and discussion. Thereafter, conclusions, then introduction, abstract, and title. Okay, so these things are, I mean, title, as far as possible, it should be short. Okay, so like the preliminary observations and all, this is not required. Like one of the, I mean, title, it is presented here. This is from Elsevier. So abstract, we should write main findings after your work. One is the indicative and other is informative. Then abstract is basically what is, I mean, we can say it is an advertisement of the article. Because anyone, researcher, he will always read the abstract first, and then he decide whether to read the paper or not. Okay, so if your abstract is very attractive, then the number of citations you will get more, no doubt. Okay, so abstract is very much important. So give more weightage for writing of the abstract. And abstract should be understood without reading the whole article. That is another thing. So in a simple language, we should be able to write it. And in abstract, we should not give so many details. Uninformative descriptions or useless phrases. Okay. Then you write introduction and what is the problem? Are there any existing solutions? Which is the best? What is the main limitation? What do you hope to achieve? These all should include in the introduction. Okay. Then citing relevant references. This should not be the correct way, like some recent papers, no meaning. Some researchers, no meaning. Okay. So then methods, how was the problem studied? Maybe the case study papers, methodology papers, theory papers, and all. Empirical papers, case study papers, methodology papers, theory papers. Okay. Results, what you have found. Okay. Main findings, highlighted differences, statistical analysis, performance analysis, principal equations or theorems. And a figure is worth 1,000 words. So illustrations, including figures and tables, they are the most efficient way to present the results. Okay, so your illustrations are critical. Appearance count, well selected scale, appropriate axis label, that is for the figures. So if you look to this figure, this is a poor quality because it's very difficult to understand what is written. Okay, so this initially only R y-axis R is written. Actually, it is rate. Okay, so this is better. This is the best. So how to present it? That is also important. Table you can write in this way or you can write in this way. So bottom one is a better one. Even the some of the figures, sketches, its clarity, understanding, that is also very much important. This is a table, but very long table is there. So a reader, he a little bit confused and even he may get bored. Okay, so try to avoid this kind of long and boring tables, crowded table. So try to maybe break this or if unimportant material is there, you can take out from this. And okay, statistical rules, results, how to present it. What the result mean, you have to discuss and check for the following, like how do your results relate to original question? Can you reach your conclusion smoothly? Or do you provide interpretation? Are your results consistent? And are there any limitations? And one is do not. That is do's and don'ts. So don'ts, do not. Make statement that go beyond what the result can support. Okay, so whatever statements are there, your result should support. Or do not suddenly introduce new terms or ideas. Okay, so this is how writing is. In conclusion, how the work advances the field from the present state of knowledge. Do the present global and specific conclusions in relation to objectives. Indicate uses, extensions, and limitations. Suggest future experiments. Okay, and do not summarize the paper in conclusion, because in abstract already you have summarized it. Make a list of unimportant statements of your results. Make judgments about impact. So you should not judge anything. What are unimportant statements of the results? Do not express it and do not summarize. This is what in conclusion. Then contribution to the particular area, practical significance, extensions, possible future work, scientific significance of the work, limitation, practical relevance, avoid unjustified statements in conclusion. Okay, you should write positively. Okay, always we should write in a positive way. Okay, so this has might be the we should avoid in writing. Okay, acknowledgement, it is your chance to thank the people who have helped you, maybe technical help or English or grammatical work, funding organization basically, affiliation to project and programs, reviewers and editors. Okay, so you have to ask permission from those who will be acknowledged with their names mentioned. That is very important. State clearly why they are acknowledged. Okay, and include the grant number or reference. This is an important one, maybe in the thesis or in the paper. So simply we acknowledge, like maybe if it is a educational institute, principal is okay. Head of the department is okay. It's an administrative acknowledgement. But sometimes I say maybe 10 different names, whether they are really contributed to the work. So basically, in acknowledgement, we should mention the name of person who really contributed in your thesis. Then only you should acknowledge them. Okay. References, I told you there are two styles. One is the Vancouver system. That means as it appeared in the main text. So first time, whatever it appear, you write one. That means this paper. If second appearance is this paper, then that will be the second. So write down that number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Second is the Harvard system. In Harvard system, what we write is on alphabetically. Okay, so first alphabetically and then chronologically. Okay, first alphabetically, then chronologically. So in text citations, don't use more than 3 or 4 papers. Like here, if I see, it begins here and it ends here. If you make it total, there are 36 references. That's a bad writing. Okay. So you can break it. You can write in between sentences and then you can break it. So maybe 2, 3 references, they are enough. Okay. Like this. Secondary references, we have to avoid it. So this text layout and all, this is not the right way today. Okay. So this is all about the cover letter and then the responses and what is the process of revision. This is not required at this stage. Okay. Then a few things I want to just highlight on ethical issues. Ethical issues is like publish and perish. If you break the ethical rules, publish and perish if you break the ethical rules. Okay. Scientific, international scientific ethics have evolved over centuries and are commonly held throughout the world. And the scientific ethics are not considered to have national variants or characteristics. There is a single ethical standard for science. Okay. So unethical behavior that can earn rejection and even a ban from publishing in the journal. Okay. So what is unethical behavior? Maybe like multiple submissions, redundant publications, plagiarism, data fabrication and falsification, improper use of human subjects, improper author contribution. Okay. So multiple submissions, then plagiarism. Plagiarism, actually, this is the copy paste kind of thing. Plagiarism is the appropriation of another person's idea. That means somebody else's idea is there and we are writing in our name. Process, results, words, without giving appropriate credit, including those obtained through confidential review of others, research proposals and manuscripts. This is one of the plagiarism concept or definition. Okay, so this is basically a tempting shortcut with long-term consequences. It is a serious offense. It will be considered as serious offense by the institute, by journal editor and scientific community. So it may result in academic charges, rejection of the paper. It will hurt your reputation in the scientific community. Okay. So that is what the copy paste kind of thing attitude is not required in research. You should write your maybe a paper or a report or thesis at your own. Don't copy from some paper and paste it in a Word format and then rearrange it. That is a very wrong way of writing maybe a report or thesis or paper. Okay. So many types are there, plagiarism types like clone, then copy, then replace, find and replace, remix, recycle, mashup, hybrid, and citations to non-existence, aggregator, retweet, and so many things. So basically copy paste, we should avoid it. Unintentional plagiarism is also quite possible, like using minimal or careless paraphrasing, failing to document or cite properly, quoting excessively, failing to use your own voice to present. Failing to use your own voice to present information or idea. This is unintentional plagiarism, but still it comes under plagiarism. Okay. So what is the effect? If you look, the effect is now this paper matching pursuit based approach and so on. This paper with these authors, now authors are hidden, but in actual publication, author's name is also there. Their affiliation is also there. Okay. So this is the paper. Okay. And then some complaints were there and a committee was framed. Then it is decided that no, it is a plagiarism. So this publisher, that is the Science Direct, he publishes this paper once again. Publishes the paper once again. And it is written as retracted. That means they have taken out this published paper from their database. Now this retracted paper will remain forever in this Science Direct. And reason for retraction also they will write. So this article is virtually identical to the previously published article. So this is a very painful to the researcher. If something this comment it comes and if it remains in database, then it's really painful. That is why we should not go for this kind of paraphrasing or I mean copy paste kind of thing. Okay. Even in newspaper, you can find some of the news like even the copycats from national institutes as well. Okay, so this is a very, I mean, it's a tendency how to write in a less time. So no shortcuts are allowed in ethical issues. So you have to write it. This is also one of the, I mean, if you look, this is one paper and this is another paper. Let's look here. Title, title, same title is there. Author is different. Author is different. If you look to this abstract, the application of concept of chaos theory, the application of concept of chaos theory. Everything is same. Only author is different. So this is how a plagiarism is. If you look here, these are the two different papers, but still if you read, most of the things are similar. Look here. This is from one paper. This is from another paper. Same thing is there. Only here some, I mean, some black shading is there and black shading is removed here. Okay. And if you look to these equations also, they're similar equations. Okay. So this is a basically, I mean, a lot of similarity is there. Even some news are there, like researchers from National Institute publish in predatory journals. That means the publications, they come under the bogus publications. So this is actually like a cancer. I mean, in ethical issues, uh, uh, the copy paste and predatory journals and so on. Lot of people they prefer it. I don't know why they prefer it. Even lot of news also it was there in um, uh, newspapers. So this is in Marathi, like Bhartiya Sanशोधनाला वाङ्मय चौर्याची कीड. And it is written here from Maharashtra, 70 professors are there. From IEEE, more than 400. I mean, the professors are banned to write in their journal. Okay, this is what a, I mean, newspaper article. Okay, so many other high level peoples are also there, and they have punished for the cause of these unethical issues in publication. Okay, so many cases you can find it, like minister resigns because of plagiarism. Okay, Madras University bans scholar for plagiarism. Jamia Millia researchers hit by plagiarism. Clarification sought from VC on plagiarism charges. MPhil thesis was copied. JNU scholar Alex plagiarism against something. So a lot of things are there. So inappropriate or inadequate paraphrasing. Okay. It is a most common plagiarism. Data fabrication, then improper author contribution. Okay. So these are all, it comes under the plagiarism case. And for this, how to, I mean, understand. Okay. So there are certain softwares where you can check how much is similarity. How much is similarity. Okay. So Turnitin is one of the software where you can check it. This Turnitin is a software which gives you similarity. That is how much content of the paper or report is a copy paste. Along with Turnitin, some other softwares are also there. I think Orchid or some other softwares are there. But for technical people, this Turnitin is the best one. So this is a Turnitin. This one. So these are all, I mean, if a document is there, from here you have to upload it. And after upload, it will check for similarity. So maybe one of the paper like this shows 24% or this shows 62% or this shows 43%. Okay. So if you look to this paper, like I wanted to show you just how it checks. This one. So this is a paper, and whatever these colorful things are there, it is a copy paste. So 5 number means this is 5. So 2% copy from this source, internet source. 15% from internet sources like ijert.org. 5% from Springer. 5% from this handle.net. 5% from some other uh, sources. So these are the all sources where from these colorful things are being taken. Okay, so this is the 2. 2 means this Springer. So this much part is a copy paste. So when it is total being taken, it is 43% overall similarity. And how much similarity is allowed? It is hardly 10% is allowed. Okay, so like this software, it checks that where from this author he has copied the material. Okay, so this is how the Turnitin software is. So this actually I wanted to show you Turnitin software. Okay, so like our institute, we use this Turnitin, and for MTech and PhD, we check the reports through this Turnitin. Yes, I think whatever my topics were there, I have finished with this. If you have any questions, we'll have a question and answer session.
Okay.
Hello.
Thank you so much, sir, for this exhaustive session. We may have a few question answers, please, from the participants. If there are any questions, please.
Sir, what is value in paper?
Hello.
What is the sir? What is the volume factor in paper? Many time I see that volume 10, volume 5 in IEEE paper. Then what is volume, sir?
Acha, volume and volume number or volume?
Volume, one number. Both are.
No, for a paper. For a paper, like in references, when we see, it is written as like this paper. If I take this 125.1, okay, and this 41.5, this one. So this 41 is volume and 5 is number. So volume means I mean the number of years of this journal standing. What it means, like suppose if volume is I mean 13. That means this journal, it has started 13 years back. So maybe in the year 2010, if any journal is started the first time. So in year 2010, the volume will be 1. Volume is 1. In year 2011, volume is 2. 2012, volume is 3. Okay, so 2023, volume is 13. So this journal, it has started 41 years back. So based upon volume, we can understand whether the journal is old or journal is new. So volume 1 means the journal has started in this year, present year. So just 1 year standing is, it's a new journal. And the number is, suppose a journal, it publishes papers every month. Then how many months are there? 12. Okay. So if it is written like 41.5, 41.5 is the 5th month, 5th issue. Okay. So 5th issue means it is a 5th month if it is monthly.
Yes.
Suppose a journal is quarterly. Then how many issues will be there? 4 issues will be there. Okay. So it will be 41 maximum 4. So either 1, 41 1, 41 2, 41 3, 41 4. 41 5 will not be there because it is a quarterly journal. If it is a monthly journal, it will be 41 12. So this gives us the issue number. That is why the first is volume and second is number. Understood?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay.
Great. Any more questions, please?
Sir, my question again. Sir, I want to completing my PhD in CSC background.
Okay.
So best for best site, I means best topic or best research site for me.
Journal site.
Journal site.
So the computer people, you have like IEEE. Most of the computer people, they go with the IEEE.
But
IEEE is there. Soft computing is there. I mean, that depends upon your topic. But mostly in IEEE, you get a lot of papers.
Okay, sir. But which topic we have to select it on basis means?
No, that is what that is. You are from computer background. What is your research interest?
Interest, according to interest. Okay, okay.
So your research interest, you should, search in that IEEE. Then the journals will come.
Okay. So IEEE means what, sir? So I listen. IEEE means what?
You just Google it.
Sir,
It's a short form. It's you just Google it.
okay, sir.
That is what a researcher. Whenever question comes, now your your age group is very lucky. Anything problem comes, if you Google 90% answers, you will get it.
Yes, sir. But I'm recently completing my M. Recently I completing my MTech. Then I.
So MTech means you should know what is the IEEE.
Yes, sir. But I publish my paper in I just paid journal only.
Huh?
So I paid journal.
Paid journal. So that is a wrong thing, na? So it is in Google, just IEEE type, it is their Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers. First of all, you should see that you should stop publishing in paid journals. How much money you have paid? 1,000 rupees?
No, sir. No, sir. The 105. So 200. I think 200 I paid.
So 200 means, it's, see, basically that is not a ethical way, one thing. And when we are paying 200 rupees, why for the person is publishing your paper? That means so much of, quality and everything it affects. Why you are giving your work to such journals? That is a very important task, because some work might be very good, but we are unnecessarily wasting our work in publishing in such predatory journals.
Yes, sir.
So at the beginning, we should stop it. If you want to see, if you don't have time, better you search good conferences and submit in conference and go for conference and present it. At least you will find 10 different people to discuss.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And that too, again, in conference, like not a conference, international conference organized maybe in a very small institute and all. You should find very reputed conferences. What is the reputed conferences? Those who conduct in a series, regularly those who conduct. So
IEEE
mostly,
or there, no?
hello?
IEEE or Springer only standard journal
See,
is there.
nowadays, if you pay 20,000-30,000, the Springer IEEE, everyone will give their logo.
Yes.
You should see the institute who is organizing, like IIT. Blindly you go there.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
But if one of the very small college, if they organize and if they say it is a Springer or IEEE or something like this, that means they have paid the fees for IEEE.
Yes, sir.
And you won't get good keynote speakers, good authors, good papers. You won't get it. But if the same thing is organized by a national institute, authors are also good, papers are good, keynote speakers are good. This is all advantage when you go for the good conferences, reputed conferences.
Okay, sir. I definitely publish my paper in IEEE in PhD only.
Yeah, in IIT you should go, in the national institutes.
Okay, sir.
Because at least they will read the paper, they will give some comment. Otherwise, the small colleges, what comment they will give? Only they will say you pay the fees, registration fees.
Right,
and
sir.
your paper is accepted.
Yes. But
Yes, any other?
no, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sir, how we identify the original journal and clone journal?
Original journal and
Clone journals.
Clone journal is not there. There is only one journal.
So few journals like that, the URL and other things are similar to the original, but they are publishing in the same type of URL and overview is same like
No,
this.
no, overview might be same, but the publisher might be different. Like if one of the journalists is in Springer with the same name, some else he is publishing. But who is the publisher? It's not Springer. So I will give an example, like water resources management. It is there in Springer and it is someone else also publish it. So I should go with Springer.
Okay, sir.
This is one thing. And second, when you read that list of editors, list of reviewers, papers, authors, there also we will know that it's a low standard.
Okay,
so
sir.
that search is important. You should take more time to search it.
Okay, sir.
And your generation is, it's a God gifted, I should say. One is Google Scholar, Scoopus, and then in addition to that, it's a Chat GPT. Maybe a God gifted, I will say, or it's a bad part of it. Because so many people, they attract towards this. And at the end, they will stuck up with the plagiarism.
Okay,
Chat
sir.
GPT also, the plagiarism it will caught, or sometimes Chat GPT statements and all may not be suited or appropriate to your research. In general, it's okay, but for research, no. So that is another issue with this generation.
Yes, sir.
Sir, this is Dr. Gupta here. Further to this discussion that is going on, could you enlighten our participants with the fact that even Scopus is these days having in its list highly paid journals? So how do the PhD aspirants go about it? I believe when people do their PhD, they would come across such journals also, because many reputed institutes, including our JSPM, would demand Scopus publications. But again, to add to it, there are free scopus also, and there are very highly paid scopus publications as well. So
Yeah,
how
yeah.
do candidates select those journals?
If candidate is, see, why paid journals, I will tell you. Once publish a paper in as a paid. Okay, in Springer there is without money also you can publish, and they will take the open access fee, and that is very high, maybe 1.5 lakh or 2 lakh rupees. So why you are paying? You are paying for making your publication in the open domain, public domain. So no subscription is required. Anyone can download it and you will get more citations. Okay. So if you have enough money, you can go with the, open access journals. If you have funding, you can go with the open access journal. But these open access journal, those who take 1.5 lakh or 2 rupees for a paper, their review process is same as a free journal. Because you are paying 1.5 lakh, they will publish your paper? No, they don't publish. They will take the same review process. If your work is good, then only they will publish. If your work is not good, they will reject it. So that payment is for making it in a public domain and open to all. No subscription is required for downloading the paper. And what is the advantage? Advantage is to the author that they will get more citations.
Yes. Okay. That's wonderful. Thank you, sir. Okay. Any more questions from the participants, please?
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hello, sir.
Yeah, please.
सर जो अपने सॉफ्टवेयर मतलब प्लेगरिज्म का सॉफ्टवेयर जो बताया ना सर, उसके अंदर मतलब वो सॉफ्टवेयर फ्री है क्या सबके लिए?
No, it is paid.
It is paid है.
Yeah, it is paid. 1 year subscription is around 7-8 lakh rupees. Only institute can afford it.
Okay. Another question is कितना परसेंटेज तक हम प्लेगरिज्म हमारे PhD थीसिस में रख सकते हैं?
Ethically 0%.
Ethically 0. 10% is allowed or not?
No, 10% is allowed. That is what I am telling. Ethically it is 0.
और स्प्रिंगर जर्नल और
5 रुपए चुराना क्या और 5 लाख चुराना क्या? It is a theft.
बराबर.
So whether it is 1% or 10%, it is a similarity.
Sir,
so
but
UGC has given that 10%.
Okay.
So our target should be 0.
Okay, sir. Okay. और स्प्रिंगर जर्नल और IEEE जर्नल acceptance criteria is 30%, sir. बराबर, sir. So
every journal will have a different kind of acceptance percentage.
तो उसी हिसाब से हमारा जो प्लेगरिज्म है वो कितना परसेंटेज तक मतलब अफोर्डेबल है और एक्सेप्टेबल हो सकता है उस वक्त?
That is what that is a journal's criteria. Individual journals, they have their own criteria, but mostly 10% is acceptable.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay,
that is what our target is, such that we should not go for the boundary cases. We should not go for, if 10%, then how to make it 10%? No, your target should be 0. See, once you say that 1% similarity means there is a similarity. So make it target, your objective is 0%. And if it is not possible, it's okay. UGC allows 10%. Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, any more questions? I believe sir has almost cleared all the doubts through his presentation already. Yet, if there are any more questions, yes,
Good evening,
Mr.
sir.
Sir,
Preetham Pandit. Yes.
sir, Gupta, sir. My question to for Gupta, sir. Sir, many students
Okay.
want to PPT US section. So please, sir, provide this PPT. All participants
Uh,
want to PPT. Everything is not remembering
yes.
all the concept of research methodology. So before
I
starting our exam,
understand, ma'am. This
so
is something that I
this
have
question.
spoken at the beginning of the session, and perhaps you have joined a little late. I mentioned that I have already put up the query with the admin, and perhaps I believe if you have checked your mails, you should have got an email by this evening already, and rest the links or the PPTs also would come to you very shortly. There was some technical issues at our end today, so it was delayed. But by this time, you should have received an email from our university, and just hopefully by tonight or tomorrow morning, the link should come for link should be given for this presentations or lectures. So
Okay,
please
sir. Only
be patient, ma'am.
meaning
Yes, I
that's
understand
why.
your concern. I understand your concern. But yes, I mentioned that tomorrow and day after tomorrow we are going to have mock exam on PhD entrance test, and 16th it is the final test. So please be prepared and just be patient. You will get an email with all the details.
Okay, sir. Sir, which site for use for PhD entrance test?
Ma'am, you will be getting the details. Please check your email. One email is already sent to you. So I think it contains the link also
Okay,
along with
sir.
your
We will.
credentials. Please check it. I'm not aware what is the exact content, but please do check your email.
Okay, sir. I will
Good
wait.
evening, sir. I have one question.
Okay.
Sir, I read about the APC, that is article publishing charge, but the journals we want to publish in Scopus Index, they are very huge amount, so we can't afford to pay. But if there any, is there any way to publish for the same journal but without paying APC?
Yeah, don't pay. There is a free option also.
Every
Hello.
journal carries same option, sir?
Every Scoopers and SCI journals, they have both the options. One is free and other is open access.
Okay, sure, sir.
Okay. So if you have a lot of money and if you are rich, you pay. Otherwise, you don't pay. Why you want to pay?
Sir, one journal I was looking for, but there was no option for the free publication.
Then you search for another journal which is having a free option.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Fortunately, a lot of journals are there. And always the journal which is free, that's a reputed one.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that should be sufficient for today. The questions, sir has already cleared all the doubts. And so, on behalf of JSPM University and all the PhD aspirant candidates, I take this opportunity to express my sincere gratitude, sir, for your insightful and exhaustive talk on writing a research thesis that you have conducted today. Your session was truly informative, and it has provided valuable guidance to all our participants and including me. So again, your expertise and passion for this subject on thesis writing, how do we select journals, how do we actually select references, so they were evident throughout your session today, and it has greatly benefited everyone in attendance. So sir, I would like to take this opportunity again to extend my thanks to all the participants who joined the sessions. Your presence and active participation contributed to the overall success of this refresher program on research methodology. It was a pleasure to engage in all the healthy discussions and share ideas with such a diverse and enthusiastic group. So, lastly, again, I take this opportunity and I wish all the participants good luck as they prepare for their PhD entrance exam. May your hard work, your dedication be rewarded, and may you achieve outstanding success in your academic endeavors. That is a wish coming from our university. So once again, thank you so much, Professor Dr. Regulvar sir, for your enlightening sessions. And thank you all the participants for making this event memorable. Your contributions will undoubtedly have a positive impact on our research journey in future. So with all the good wishes, with your kind permission, Regulvar sir, shall we end this session for today?
Okay, okay. You end the session. Thank you very much. I'm leaving. Thanks all and wish you all the best.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much, sir. And please keep your keep checking your mails. There should be some updates very shortly from the university. So thank you again. Thank you all for joining in. So this refresher program is concluded today, and again wish all the best to all the participants here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
तमाम मीठे खत्म हो गए